Hey guys, this is Black Bolt. My name is Alan. Hope everybody is doing well. So this video is from Monday, December 6th, when we had temperatures hovering between 0 and 5 degrees Fahrenheit outside. And as you can see, when I started this drive, I had already driven 13.5 miles approximately, and I had 106 miles left on the GOM. And in this particular drive, I was driving about 10 miles to go from my neighborhood in Ramsey to another neighborhood in Andover, Minnesota. And when we arrived, you can see that the battery had gone from 86% to 75%, and the range dropped from 106 miles down to 91 miles. All right, so we just left our meeting location in Andover, heading home 23.1 miles on the trip. That should be at 33 miles when I get home, 91 miles on the GOM, and hopefully it'll be at 80 when I get home, because I do plan on going out and we're entering a school zone, so I need to slow down. So hopefully that'll be 80 when I get home, because I do want to go out this evening and see how far I can push this battery. But that meeting went well, and I'll have a series based on how things go leading from this meeting. All right, I am back home. And as you can see, I have now driven 32.3 miles, 5 degrees outside, and 73 miles left on the GOM. I am not going to get 100 miles out of this battery today, but I will try my best. And as you can hear, the fan is running at almost full speed because it's so cold outside. The car is comfortable, but it's not extra hot or anything like that. It is still using more range than it's anticipating, so every time I go out and drive, it'll drop it faster than a mile per mile driven. Most people aren't going to have temperatures that are this cold unless you live in Minnesota or the Dakotas or up in Canada, so it's really fun to be able to do this. But yeah, just enjoying things. We'll keep you posted. Hey guys, it is now evening, and so 5:48 p.m. leaving home a little later than I anticipated because we went for that little project in the middle of the day. I had to work a little bit longer than I normally do. Usually my hours are 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. but obviously today I worked from 8 to about 5:45 p.m. So as you can see, 32.7 miles on the trip, 72 miles of range remaining. So we'll see how many I end up using. Still anticipating to get to 100, but I don't think that we're going to get there. And as you can see, in Minnesota this early, it is pitch black outside, but it is what it is, pitch black and extra cold. But it's where my family chooses to live and will continue to live for the foreseeable future. Alright guys, up to 54.3 miles driven, 25% battery capacity left, and 25 miles on the guessometer. Hey guys, as you can see, I made it home with 1% charge remaining, 74.3 miles driven, so about 2 miles per kilowatt hour. And there you can see that I left the heat on, set it lower to 72 degrees. And then steering wheel heat was also on. I didn't do anything special. I didn't do any, I didn't turn the heat off to make the car go a little bit farther. One thing that I forgot to mention, with this car I don't have the trickle charger during the day, so it preheats the car at around 6:30 in the morning, but I didn't go out before work this morning. So by the time that I took my daughter to school, the battery had probably cooled down. That was at around 8. So I didn't have the added benefit of having the car preconditioned before I took it this morning. And then every time that I took it out during the day, that also uses extra battery because the car isn't preconditioning before it's driven. And as you can see, the temperatures have dropped pretty significantly. Well, it's now 1 degree outside. Or approximately thereabouts. Might be a little bit colder, might be a little bit warmer. 74.3 miles is, I would say, pretty good for 40 kilowatt hours, especially because for most people, even if you live relatively far from work, like if I was working, I wouldn't say downtown Minneapolis, because that would require driving at 65 miles an hour almost all the way there, and that's a 65 mile round trip for me. But if I worked relatively far from my house, I would still be able to use this car to go to work, run some errands, and then get back home in the evening and plug it back in. And then one other thing that I meant to mention earlier, in the week that my wife was gone, I was home with our 3 older daughters, and so I used the car the way a normal person would use it, not the way that I normally use it. And what I realized is that my usage is kind of extreme. So the way that a normal person would use this car, even with 130 to 140 miles of range, normally, obviously, the range drops significantly once you are down below like 10 degrees Fahrenheit. But the way that a normal person would use this car, I would have only needed to charge it from, let's say, 20% to 100% once in that entire week. And that was driving to Andover, picking up groceries, taking my daughter to school, picking up food, just regular errand type stuff. Having access to 130 miles or 120 miles in winter, or 160, 175 miles in summer, that's not an issue at all. So anyway, 74.3 miles is a little less than I thought. I thought it would be closer to 85 to 90 miles, but it's still not terrible given the frigid temperatures that we have in Minnesota at the moment. So anyway, if you are new here, go ahead, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Love you all.